The last speaker is Sercan, who will be talking about avatars and metaverse. Please give him round of applause.
Yeah.
Let's begin.
All right. So I'm still a little bit tipsy, so if I say something stupid, it's not me, it's the beer, blame the beer. And let's keep it fast, energetic, and agile like an Estonian startup, because we don't have much time and I don't want to get you more sleepy. So I'm going to talk about Ready Player Me, avatars, and metaverse. Maybe you heard Ready Player Me already. It's kind of popular in the metaverse scene right now. If you didn't, you will learn about it. First, let me tell you about Developer Me. My name is Sercan Altundas. I'm the SDK and integrations team leader at Wolf3D, the parent company of Ready Player Me, and I am the developer of Ready Player Me project. And in Estonian startup scene, it can be a bit confusing to you that you might know Wolf3D, you may not know Ready Player Me, or vice versa. The thing is, Ready Player Me is a project of Wolf3D that is surpassed in the popularity to the company. So we are completely transitioning into the project, so because it's more popular and it's became some kind of a light ship for us right now. And first of all, let's talk about Metaverse and avatars. So many big companies and projects claim that Metaverse is what they are making, which is not really true. Everybody tries to benefit from this hype and try to invent their own definitions. But Metaverse is not one application, one place, or one company's product. It's a mesh and network of applications and software and hardware that is going to work and instrumented together. So, Metaverse is a digital layer on top of our real world. So, which in a way we kind of into already. Some of the things already happening in our lives, even this presentation, recording it, our mobile phones, hardwares we have, devices like smartwatches, smart rings and everything, is a small part of the metaverse. And the utility of data and the amount of we are using it, amount of we are sharing and producing this data is going to be even more used, and the amount of it will be even more. Another key point of the metaverse is interoperability. New things are coming to the internet, to the hardware and software, and we will need new protocols to be able to transfer data and information through these platforms and items. And interoperability is going to be one of the key topics when we do it. And slowly we are going to transition from videos, games, movies, any kind of thing that we can call digital to experiences. The way we are going to interact with this new content is going to be more expressive. We are going to interact with them in more native ways, and we will get more from them emotionally too. And finally, ownership of digital items are going to be something much more important in our lives. I will going to talk about more at the end of the presentation. Right now, we use software more like a service. We do not really own the digital things we have. And there is some things going on around that NFTs and blockchain and stuff, these kind of technologies are helping it. And this is also going to be a huge part of the metaverse as well. And finally, spatial and more immersive input and output is going to be the way we are interacting with these places. AR glasses, VR headsets, maybe phones without phones, completely, I don't know, thin, mandible displays, holograms, any kind of sci-fi things you can think of. Right now, the technology companies are trying to push for these things, and some of them are already becoming real. And these are going to unlock new ways to interact with these things we are doing. And we will do less to interact with these devices, software and hardware. And what is an avatar in all of this? In Ready Player Me, we call an avatar your passport to the metaverse. It's the doorway you can enter this digital layer on top of our world. So, just like you represent yourself with your material body in real life and interact with everything, in digital world, you will need an entity to interact with the digital world. Right now, we do this with our profile photos, profile information, login with Google, Facebook, stuff like that. We will need something more complex and more expressive than that, because there will be more 3D content, there will be more 3D experiences, places that we could visit, and more information being gathered by these places. And all these informations are going to be encapsulated in our avatars, and we are going to be able to express and display ourselves in these visual forms. And there comes Ready Player Me. Ready Player Me, in very simple terms, is a website. It is nothing more. You can go to readyplayer.me, create yourself an avatar, edit that avatar the way you desire, and at the end, you can use it in any of the platforms that we integrated with. So there are quite many software, games, applications that are already integrated with Ready Player Me. You can make an avatar and transfer your avatar into one of these places. These applications are using Ready Player Me as a character creator service. So they do not need to create this kind of layer on top of their application, but they get as a free service. So here are a couple of screenshots from the website. And it's out there, it's easy to reach. You can definitely visit it after this talk and see it for yourself. Create yourself an avatar. And you can, after creating an avatar, you can land into our hub. You can manage your avatars. You can connect to other applications, discover what is going on, what is more, and everything. So here are some of the applications, for example, you can find in the hub. So, but what it is, like how it is implemented into these applications, right? So it is a website. So the thing is, working with web is cool in a way because it's acceptable in many platforms. You can display a web browser inside a game engine, native mobile platforms, websites themselves with iframes. So you can take Ready Player Me instance you have as a partner, embed it into your environment, and then just pass a message which contains the URL of the avatar. Once you create your avatar and click the done button, a model for you is baked in the servers. This model, pretty much the visual layer of your avatar that is going to be transferred in these applications. The message passes to the host application, and we have packages, SDKs, examples, and code bits to help you get these avatars, load them into the different platforms we support. At the moment, as of now, we have more than 2,500 applications, games, and experiences integrated Ready Player Me. And there are some notable names among them, such as VRChat, Adidas, Warner Bros., Somnium Space, SideQuest, Spatial, and so on. And we were growing real fast. From the moment we released the first version of Ready Player Me, we made it public. It's been around 2 years. It was May 2020. And a couple of months later, we started our partnership project. And we started giving Ready Player Me as a free tool for the companies who wants to integrate that. And since then, our graph has been going like that. This is a couple of months old, actually, this graph. Right now, we have 2,500, and really, if I add it here, it would probably break the ceiling, so it's skyrocketing. So, why Ready Player Me was so successful? It was built for the developers. So, when we were working on Ready Player Me, we wanted developers to be our first point of interest, the contact. So, we made it for developers. We wanted people to integrate Ready Player Me into their applications. So from there, we can break the growth. And right now, you can have your avatar and use animation technologies like Mixamo, Oculus VisMS for face, speech graphics for audio to face animation, game engines like Unity, Unreal, and native platforms like WebGL on web, native Android and iOS platforms, even real-time tracking software like DeepMotion or, again, Apple's ARKit. You can use all of them. And the cool thing is, depending on your partner configurations, you can pick whichever you want to integrate with. Avatars are highly customizable. So how it was built. Let's go into the development journey of Ready Player Me. So before that, I want to tell you about our core technology. Ready Player Me is like a 2-year-old project, but Wolf 3D has been dealing with digital humans around 8 years. So we have huge experience in dealing with avatars and digital humans. And our core technology is selfie to head mesh. So we take a photo from your mobile device or computer and process the selfie with our machine learning models. And that turns into various data, such as blend shape information, textures, 3D meshes, landmarks, and classification of different pieces of your face. So this data has been utilized and used in quite many companies already. We have been developing proof of concept projects and other applications for companies like H&M, Vodafone, Huawei, Tencent, like giants. And the area of interest for avatars are social, fashion, game, and telecom, and many more other already using avatars as well. So here's a screenshot of what Ready Player Me was looking like 2 years ago. When I first started Ready Player Me, like experimental project in the company, the idea was to get it out of the locked environment of game engines. All the integrations I just showed you, the company names, we were making Unity game engine applications for them. Because game engines can handle heavy 3D graphics. It wasn't really something for web. There was quite many things out there, but catching the same quality was very difficult. But the idea was to experiment around that and bring it to web so we can unlock the full potential of what we can do there. So I partially switched to web development, started brushing up my JavaScript knowledge. I learned 3JS, and in the backend, we were running Blender to fuse together all the pieces of the avatars and give you a URL of the avatar that you can use. Luckily, around the same time, Mozilla Foundation released their Mozilla Hubs, which is a VR and PC meetup platform. And they had a guideline for what kind of avatars you can make and upload there. So we decided to make Ready Player Me an avatar creator for Mozilla Hubs. So this is pretty much where we started. You were getting your URL and you were implementing it right in there. And then since Mozilla Hubs are open source software, many companies were actually using it to create companies, making meetup environments, meetup software in different languages, different regions of the world. They were trying to monetize this. And once they learned about Ready Player Me, they wanted to partner with us. That was the point when we started providing Ready Player Me as a free tool to these companies. They were able to integrate Ready Player Me into their website. People would be using Ready Player Me without leaving these experiences and making avatar right in there. But after a while, problems arise because the JavaScript and 3JS code I was writing was a monolith. So everything was in single JavaScript file. I even wrote like the camera script, like how everything was handling. So it was quite difficult. Whenever I wanted to add a new feature, other things were breaking. So the goal was to use a proper framework, move it to React so we could use components, and like make it more maintainable and scalable. At this point, switching to React has been really helpful. It was even something late. The problem was I didn't know React. I had a little bit of JavaScript knowledge and started with that, with this experiment. It grew, but the old technology still stayed there. And with React, we were able to make it maintainable, scalable, simpler, and it was now easier to work with it. And after that, the 3JS code I was using, it was also difficult to manage, especially memory side. Loading and unloading 3D models were kind of difficult and wasn't really exactly the thing I knew. And by the time we discovered there was a component-based version of 3JS built on top of it called React 3 Fiber. So we started using that to componentize all the pieces. So pretty much the glasses, hair, shirt, eyebrows, eye texture, everything you see here were different components. And they were being fused on top of each other in the 3D scene, and the data was being sent to bake the avatar. And lastly, we bring all this together in Next.js. Again, there was a framework I was learning because of a suggestion of a friend. I didn't know much about JavaScript framework, but it was a great choice, and it helped us so much with deploying it fast and making it really work good in team. So everybody was able to easily contribute to it. In the first version, we didn't have any database or anything. You were just making your avatar, no account, no nothing, no data saved, only local storage of the browser. But then, of course, things needed to change. We had more content coming in. We have avatars. We needed accounts. The hub was coming. And we had to utilize more data around the avatars. And first thing we decided to use was MongoDB because it's the JSON-like schema it has is easy to read. The analytics their platform Atlas provides is very good, and it's really fast. After that, we needed to use some kind of a content management system because we have quite many 3D items, 2D items that are being displayed inside the website. We cannot keep them in a database because binary data. And we decided to go with Data CMS, which is a very cool tool that can give you very complex UI components for creating complex items for yourself. Right now, mainly our artists are using this place to drag and drop their 3D assets, validate them, and change the partner settings and everything. Even, like, for example, if you go to one of the partner space, the theme, the number of the different assets you get, the background, the different styles of the avatars, everything is coming from Data CMS. The avatar data, the individual avatar data is in MongoDB. And, well, like any other company outside, we use S3 buckets for static data. So Amazon is also a part of our tech stack. So it's reliable, fast, and easy to use. There is a reason we kept going with it. So pretty much what I mentioned is this first part of the thing, the website. What we were discussing is what happens here. And well, if it's a partner space, when you click on done button, instead of going to hub, you emit this URL to the other side when avatar is baked. But what happens there? When it lands into the partner's application, how it is handled. In the SDK and integrations team, pretty much this is what I deal with. All the bits you see here, they are handling in the customer application. This can be in a website, a game engine, a native environment. We develop SDKs, tools, node packages, code bits, or examples to make partners easily integrate and use avatars in their ecosystems. And all in all, why Redeployment is needed? Well, a cool website to create avatars, but is that all? So, making a character system is extremely difficult. You can't really get everything right because there are so many moving components in it. Like you really need years of experience to deal with that. The best companies getting it right out there, some like 10, 20 years of experience, AAA game companies. Even sometimes they are messing up. Getting something huge like that is very expensive because it's time consuming. You need a dedicated team to deal with this, work on it for months. You might even need your in-house art team to produce this art because not everything is going to be aligned if you get from different artists. And well, if your game or application has seasons and being used in different regions of the world, you need to maintain and update these 3D assets too. This all is really difficult. And you are starting new, you will need to get this right. Not quite. So even big companies are not getting this quite right. So here are some of the weird stuff I can show you from what is out there. I mean, yeah, they look funny, right? All of them are from AAA companies. You can make monsters. So we made monsters in the company as well. In Redeployment, we created quite many monsters and we learned how not to make monsters. So And how are we making this possible? How our avatars are interoperable, cross-platform. How can you transfer the same avatar you are using in game engine to web to mobile native? It is by using one of the new 3D model conventions called GLTF. This is from Kronos Group. Maybe you heard they're really innovative and they're doing so many cool things. GLTF is a rather new 3D format that is open source and that contains the details of the model, especially physically based rendering related details in a JSON format and binary materials, meshes, and images. It's highly customizable. It can have extensions. And the cool thing is, since it's physically based rendered materials it can contain, wherever you take the models, they are going to look the same. So there is a visual parity wherever you take the avatars. So this is something very important. If it's still kind of confusing, how you can understand what GLTF is or GLB is? It is what is JPEG to images, digital images, GLTF is to 3D models. So it is small in size, it is easy to process, it's fast, and it looks good. Here are some of the examples of Ready Player Me integrations. There are some indie games which integrated Ready Player Me. And considering like you made an avatar, logged into one of these games, you are using your avatar. Once you switch to another game, you will be able to use the same avatar you created. You do not need to create a new avatar. You have a set of avatars. You can pick another one. So here is where interoperability comes. So you can transfer avatars to 3D games. VR applications, like you can use it in Snapchat, you can use it in Beat Saber, recording it via Live. You can have VR meetings, like Immersed or Meet in VR. You can play AR games, or even one of the very interesting integrations we made was for Warner Bros. For Dune movie, we made this XR experience for the fans of the movie. So many use cases. So it doesn't even have to be 3D. So we have this rendering API, which provides you 2D images renders of the avatars too. So you can get a very cool render of the avatar and use it as a profile photo. You can have moving 3D profile photos as well if you want. And with the render API we have, sometimes we release seasonal cardboard, like postcards or screenshot or wallpaper-like things to give people this cool stuff. And the final thing I'm going to talk about, the new digital economy. When some people hear blockchain or NFTs, some people get really hyped or some people get very irritated. And I completely understand both sides. There's so many scams going on around and it's kind of skeptic place to put your feet into. But where we are going with the digital economy is that, like I mentioned before, we do not really have real ownership of digital items we have. It's more like whenever the services, pull the plug, we do not have actually anything. We cannot transfer it to anyone. We cannot transfer it anywhere. So you truly do not own it. Blockchain and NFT kind of technologies kind of give some kind of a foundation for this and being worked on. So it is still raw, but things will be happening. And what can avatars do in this region is that just like we are caring about us in the real world, we will need to care about us or maybe, like look good in the digital world too. People are already spending money on their digital identities in the video games and, like digital experiences. So the thing is, you will be able to purchase things for your avatars. And these are going to be transferable. So these are not going to be locked into certain platform. But once you buy something for your avatar, you can carry that over to some other place. You bought Nike shoes, you can walk with that Nike shoe in any game or experience you go. Same for any other asset. In the company, we also work with NFTs, try to understand this technology and scene, and do cool things around that. We work with the electronic musician Deadmau5. We made headwears for them. If you bought one of their NFTs, you can unlock headwears you actually purchased as an NFT. We made this CryptoPunk full body avatars for CryptoPunk owners. And the owners of this top expensive NFTs can actually purchase themselves an avatar from us and use it in any of the platforms that we integrated. And also Artifact, right now bought by Nike, was one of our first partners to display their outfits in our platform. So this is going to be something much more important in the coming future. How I see it, this is going to replace pretty much the loot boxes we have in the video games. We already purchase stickers or outfits to our game characters, but, well, it gets stuck in Call of Duty or Counter-Strike. With this, you buy it, it's yours, you can sell it to another user, or you can transfer it over to another experience. And our role as Ready Player Me in Metaverse and this new brave world, in a way, is to break the walls of this walled gardens. Facebook, Google, Microsoft, they are trying to invent and build their own metaverses. But Metaverse is going to be somewhere open, where everybody can have an avatar, everybody can transfer their identity to wherever they want. So we position ourselves in the center of this and are trying to build the de facto go-to avatar platform for the whole internet, metaverse, and the experiences. So thank you so much for listening. And yeah, if you have any questions, please.
Thank you for this nice presentation. I have two questions. Firstly, on one slide you showed there was this kind of avatar from face, and it was created based on one photo. So now when you have a 3D all body, then are there necessary like several photos, or is it like a person makes a video of themselves to get the proportions right? Or so how the proportions are got right?
At the moment, we do not have anything about the proportions, actually. The Ready Player Me is actually still something early. And we are pushing to make it, like more, how to say, like something for everyone. We have two body types, This is all right now, but we already have a dedicated team trying to, like unlock full potential of what we can do. The problem is we had highly customizable avatars for other companies in game engine. When it's in the web browser, things get, like resources are scarce. It's a bit more difficult. So we are trying to tread lightly, trying to, like get the best performance avatars we can get in the web browser. So this is the tricky part. But we do not have that yet, but we will have. Most likely it is going to be self-customizable, or even we can add on top of that, like you can take a photo of your body and it automatically recognizes your body shape, just like it recognizes your face shapes.
Thank you. And the other question I have is, you mentioned that if some other company was to build their own avatars, they would need an art team. Do you have an art team? How big it is, and what are their main challenges? Yeah,
we do have we've always had an art team, actually. Actually, comparing to some of the game companies out there, we have a larger art team and game engine team. Actually, we are not a game company, though. The size of the art team we have is around 7-8 people right now, I suppose. And some of them are producing art assets. We have technical artists, too, helping with technical solutions and so on.
Question from here, finally.
Hey, you mentioned that you have a problem in a browser regarding performance. So do you want to use WebAssembly to integrate some components from native applications for rendering? It's the first question.
We did actually discuss that. WebAssembly can definitely unlock so much, but it's kind of rove, I suppose. Again, I dealt a lot with web development, but I'm not a web developer. So I'm able to make this doesn't mean that I'm expert. So I can't really, lie as if I know, but I heard a lot about it. We still rely on this component-based React 3 Fiber, library. But if there was something based on WebAssembly, well, we could go for that. But I think we are not going to try to invent the wheel again. So if there needs be that we really need to squeeze all the resources we need, we have to make something, well, we could consider this.
Yeah. The second question is about SDKs you mentioned for partners. As I understood, you are creating some kind of file which contains this avatar and all related skins, images, sounds. So why these partners need some SDK if it's an open source file? It's already containing all of the stuff?
Yeah. So if it was only a 3D model, so getting it to another place could be actually easier. So this is quite obvious. The thing is, avatars are also, they work with a protocol. It's not just certain 3D model you just want to display to people like a solid object and throw it away. So the problem is GLTF is not just yet widely used. Even for example, the SDK I'm dealing with is Unity SDK. Unity doesn't support this file format yet. So we have libraries to download, import, prepare this avatar for use in the game engine. So there are other things around that too. Let's say you are making a multiplayer game. You need to load multiple avatars. You need to cache them. You need to load them from the cache. So it's lots of helpers around it. So there's no something like technological breakthrough inside, but lots of helper parts for developers to make the integration process frictionless. So they can get the avatars as fast as possible. Right now, it's we even have example scenes and example GitHub repositories and stuff. So you can fetch one, include into your project. In 5 minutes, you are ready to go. You will have the avatar. So it's that fast.
Good. 3 more questions.
For no socks, I got actually quite many questions.
Emil has a question.
Hard one.
Hello, thanks for the talk. Anyways, quick question. So you have this avatar which has wardrobe included, right? Mm-hmm. So, but there are, let's say, multiple games where you would want to overwrite the wardrobe. Let's imagine PUBG, you need a helmet, which is from PUBG, otherwise you wouldn't know what level the helmet is, right? So is that something that is easy to do for the developers?
It's something tricky actually, and been subject to talk as well, because there could be cases. I mentioned, for example, buying Nike shoes, and we have integrated with Adidas too, and they might say, I do not want people to come to my experience with Nike shoes. What can we do? So the best would be probably we still do not have something like that, but building some filters, like creating dress codes. In the real world, it's the same. You cannot go to, a nightclub with, I don't know, some T-shirts and shorts probably, depending on what kind of place that. But so creating this kind of protocols around experiences, they can filter certain keywords, certain group of items, assets. If it's casual, it can be casual. If it's, I don't know, monsters, it can be monster outfits. If it's formal, it can be formal. So you say, I only accept formal outfits in my experience. If you come with your T-shirt, I will override that. So this is possible, actually.
And I understand there can be multiple avatars, but can one avatar have multiple wardrobes?
It's more like wardrobes and avatars are separate. You can create as many avatars as you like, and you can customize them as you like, and you can connect them to different experiences. So you can have a Nike avatar set you have, so you prepared avatars for Nike. When you go to Nike application, by the way, we do not have partnership with them, but maybe, some divine something comes to me. So you go to Adidas Experience and you see only your Adidas avatars. But when you go to Hub, you see all the integrations, all the connections you have. So it's like a, in World of Warcraft, we would call it like armory. You could see all your characters, all the items they have, everything. This is pretty much like that.
Okay, thanks.
Hello. I was wondering how much does an avatar cost?
0.
So where does the money come from?
We are VCs,
From where?
venture capitalists.
Okay.
We are burning money.
Thanks.
And the last question. Who wants to ask the last question? You? Yeah?
Hello. A question, is it possible to get more realistic avatars, like a human face or something? Because these are like very cartoonish, or is it too expensive for the web?
So in Ready Player Me, we have a certain style. The idea was to make avatars like that. Before that, we had realistic avatars too. Like in Wolf 3D, we do make cartoony avatars, realistic avatars, pretty much all range of things. But for this project, we decided to go for this type of style. So in Ready Player Me, it's not possible. But out of that, as a company, yes, we can.
And that's what it. Yes, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. That's basically it. We still have time until 9:30 to mingle, have a drink, and there is still food left. Enjoy the time, and thank you for coming.